here, so thank you very much for taking the time and effort to come here. Representing the Radical Independence Campaign, could you just Pat Smith?
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you all for coming along. We live in truly remarkable times, wonderful times. I've been active in politics for decades. We won't go into how many decades, but there were several of them. And there have been fantastic campaigns: the Stop the War movement, the anti-capitalist movement, Occupy movement, have brought lots of people who had never been involved in politics before, have brought them together and tried for a better world. But I've never quite seen anything like this before. In the last few weeks, the Radical Independence Campaign, indeed the Yes Campaign, and very many other people have been involved in registering voters, because there was what we called the missing million. A million people in this small country who didn't, who had never registered to vote, or didn't know that they could, or how they could. And I know in Lothians alone, since the Euro elections, 300,000 people have registered to vote. That's absolutely huge. It's absolutely remarkable. And I think it is remarkable, but it's not surprising, because what you see, if you're in the shop, on the bus, the workplace, in your front room, people want to talk about independence. People want to debate about independence because they think that this is something that can make a difference. I think so as well. I think you're right. I think we can make a difference. People have become disillusioned with political parties. People say to me, I go out canvassing, they say on the doorstep, oh, it doesn't matter who you vote for, they're all the same. They say something in their propaganda before they get in, and then they go, well, I don't quite believe that. I think there is some of that. I don't believe that to be the case. But people feel that it's very difficult to make change in that way. What I always say to people is, who's ever been changed? Where has real change come from? It's come because ordinary people, you and I, have said, enough is enough, we're not putting up with this, and we have struggled to make that change. Whether it's for votes or universal suffrage, people have tried in different ways. People continue to do that, whether it's through your trade union, your community, whatever it might be, people have come together. And that's how we will make the real change that we need in Scotland. Our slogan in the Radical Independence Campaign is "Another Scotland is possible." We didn't quite make that up. That, to some extent, came out of the anti-capitalist movement. Another world is possible. We've taken that slogan, it's been taken by a lot of other people. And it has a real resonance with people, because even without making huge change, what we can see is it doesn't have to be like this. Personally, I think we need huge change. I think we need a different system entirely, because we keep fighting for that change. Sometimes we get the change, and then hard times come. What happens then? It's always us that have to pay. It's never the best off people in society that have to pay. But we have something beyond going to struggle. I know that there are a lot of Labour voters who think, I feel that this is a very, very difficult question. People from, I think, the traditional left who have thought you fight through your trade union, you have solidarity with other people, and they say to me, quite frequently, surely it would be better. I agree with you, we need that change, but surely it would be better if north and south of the border, people stood together to fight for that change. I agree that would be better, but I don't not cynical about that happening. I hope that that happens, and I think we would all want to be part of that. But I have a date for another kind of change, and it's a week on Thursday. And we can begin to make the change that we really need, just by putting a cross on a bit of paper and voting yes. I agree with what other people have said. We're not naive. We don't think that we'll just do that and then we can all go back to whatever it was that we were doing before this struggle to win the yes vote. We'll have to do an awful lot more than that. We will have to ensure that we are clear in our minds of the kind of Scotland that we want. And I think we're all agreed. When I listen to other people, I think everybody is agreed. We want Trident out of our waters, and indeed the SNP has promised that. But we have to ensure that we keep people to that whoever, the SNP are in government now, but we get another election. So it isn't, as Fiona and other people have said, it's not about parties. It's about the kind of Scotland that we want. So this is something that you really need to consider. You need to consider that I can't think of another way that we can get it. I don't know how we can get that chance. And I believe that's all it is. It is a chance. What a chance it is. And I think all the people that have come into the campaign, that have struggled to get this yes vote, they won't be going back to their sofas. They will be continuing to fight and struggle for that. I hope if you're undecided that you will join that